Hi everyone. It's been about 2 weeks since my last video, and I'm like you to bear with me because I don't know much about videos and how to edit things and how to blog and things like that. So I've been trying to figure out what I wanted to speak about in this video, and I decided to video it from my phone because the camera on my laptop isn't very good. As you saw, the filter gives this strange green hue. But my camera is a lot better. As you can see today, I don't know if you can see the difference, but I've been out in the sun and I've got some very precious vitamin D. So I'm quite happy, and I spent some time with some friends. So today I wanted to just talk about mainly, how I've gotten to the point where I am. When I was born with my umbilical cord wrapped around my neck. Where I come from, they have a stigma with babies that come that way, and they tend to say that we're always trouble. In other words, we always cause trouble. I wasn't. I did, and I didn't. We didn't find out that I was dyslexic until I was about, I think, 17. So my mother knew I was dyslexic. She had an idea I was. She tried to let the relevant people know, but no one really listened. So I had a very bad experiences in school because I was extremely articulate, but when it comes to writing things down, people could not understand what I was trying to say, and they couldn't understand my mind, as well as I couldn't arrange it in a way where other people could understand. I could only write it in the way a dyslexic person understands. So school was very trying for me and very hard, and I was very lost for a long time because I felt that no one really understood me. I'm a bit of a geek and I've got my head in the clouds and I'm constantly fantasizing or dreaming about something. And I'd rather read books than watch fights. It's just the way I was. And I think people kind of sort of thought I was a bit weird. But I still had loads of friends. Being my size also did not help because I've always been rather large. So having family members telling me, oh well, you're too fat and you need to lose weight, and and I couldn't really comprehend why people who were supposed to be my family couldn't love me for who I was. That was very, very hard, and it was very hard to get over that and to be able to detach myself from what they thought I should be and who God had created me to be. Now, it's true that God never created anyone to be morbidly obese or to be sick. And I do not condone being morbidly obese. I don't think it's good for anybody. But I also don't believe that anyone has the right to tell somebody else, this is how you're supposed to look, or this is how you're supposed to behave. Because we are all creatures of God, created absolutely unique. So going through puberty, being, rather big, was hard. It was hard being dyslexic, being rather big, learning a different language, because obviously I was born in France and I came to England. So by the time I was in high school, I hadn't completely mastered the English language yet. So it was hard, and so I was in lower classes because they thought that I couldn't converse, or I was doing bad in school because I was learning a different language, not realizing actually it was because I was dyslexic, which it turns out I have, is it two of them? I have dyslexia and dyscalculia. I don't understand maths. I'm probably sure that most people will be like, what the heck is this? Now, dyslexia is an issue that people who are dyslexic, I'll say, our brain works slightly differently for people who are not. the mass people, or the mass, amount of people, their brain works a certain way. You're taught in this way, and this is how you understand the world. This is how you understand, teachings, or, your lessons. When dyslexics, we understand the world very differently. We see the world very differently, which is the reason why most dyslexics tend to go into art, because we have a different way of expressing ourselves, which the rest of the world most of the time find fascinating. Eventually, when they understand, okay, they were a little bit different, but it's not, we're not dumb. When back in the 80s, 80s, 90s, people who were dyslexic, we were seen as dumb. It wasn't a well-known thing. Dyscalculia is the inability of understanding maths. Now, it's not an inability, and that's why I get a bit annoyed when people, they say it's a learning difficulty, because it's not a learning difficulty, it's a learning difference. We learn differently. It's not that we have difficulty learning, it's because you have difficulty teaching us, because you're only teaching us the way you know how, but our brain does not understand the way you know it. So it's not that we've got a learning difficulty, it's just that we learn differently, and you need to find a way to be able to teach us in the way our brain can understand. So unfortunately, maths was, I had a very bad time at maths. Personally, there's a lot of things that happened to me because I couldn't do maths. I'm African, and our parents, what they know is you don't do something, we smack. They don't think of, there could be something going on there. My mum knew, obviously, but my dad didn't. And so, I didn't do my maths. I didn't do well. I'd get a smack, which didn't help, because it kind of made me absolutely afraid of maths. And till this day, I'm still terrified of it. So any maths, written down or anything like that, absolutely terrified. I will not touch them. But I'm very good at money, funny enough. I'm very good at counting money. So that's a little bit how I kind of started. I didn't have I've had a difficult start, with dyslexia and dyscalculia, and, not getting the assistance that I needed, because of various things that happened in my family. Everyone kind of, went to do their own thing, and, I often felt alone. And I know that they didn't mean to make me feel alone, but I did. I felt alone a lot, being who I am. And I ended up shutting myself away from my family for a long time. But it's nice because now I'm getting to know them all again. And we're all getting to know each other as adults, especially me and my brothers, getting to know each other as adults and respecting each other as adults is quite crazy. Getting to know my mum and my dad as adults, and realizing that my mum and my dad are not titans, and that they can't fix everything, but that they love me nonetheless. And, that they both have their very own unusual characteristics, because I can assure you, they have unusual characteristics. I mean, we're African French. So that just tells you everything. From where I'm from, oh gosh, that is quite crazy, actually. I am Yoruba. I am of the very well-known Yoruba tribe. I am part Yoruba from Nigeria and part Yoruba from Benin Republic. So most people put my face to West Indies, which I don't quite understand why that is. Apparently, everyone that looks at me, that meet me, they're always, oh, you're from the West Indies. And I'm like, no. You've got West, right? But West Africa. And they're like, you ain't African. I'm like, yeah, I really am. If you meet my family, you'd know I'm African. I look exactly like my family. But apparently that means I also look like a Jamaican person, which is very strange. I don't get it. But I do have Jamaican friends. Two of my closest friends are Jamaican. So I guess apparently they infected me. But okay, that'll be it for today. And I will try and speak to you a bit more about my dialysis and how I got into that. I'll try and do a video actually me getting me put on dialysis, if I'm allowed, because obviously they're a bit iffy about stuff like that. I'll try and not make sure thingy, because I've got to go to dialysis a bit later. So I hope you all have a lovely evening, and I'll try and not wait a whole week before I come and do another video. But yeah, so loads of love. God bless you all, and see you later.